Hey everybody, HMV here, playing more Rimworld, and Albert hates Forex because she's disfigured. Gee, I wonder how that happened, Albert. Oh, maybe it's because you accidentally cut her eye out instead of installing a bionic eye into the other eye socket. Anyway, when you get up, would you equip that sword? I give Forex a shoddy bow so she doesn't waste our only good weapon. And then I get our new best shot, Kaylee, to arm the machine pistol. Okay, back to work. Corn takes 11 days to grow, and it's the first day of fall. It's 10 days before we're not in the growing season anymore, so we may not even get another corn crop in. However, we want to be sure that we can store what we have, so I turn on the veggie storage in the main storage room. And Forex gets fully healed, except for that whole being blind thing. And then we get visitors. And we've also got tattered apparel. I had set up previously outfits for melee and ranged people, but forgot the hit points. I fixed that now. A wasp is hunting Albert? There's wasps in this game? Oh, the wild woman. She's hunting Albert for food. Well, let's see how well that goes for her. I feel bad here, but we're not attacking her, remember. Well, that was quick. She seems content with berries, so I leave her be. Then she goes for our food. Okay, time to make the hard choice. Bam. Dead. Gotta protect the corn. We're never going to get another haul of corn before winter, so I switch over to rice. And the next day we get a bulk goods trader. Kaylee's our best negotiator, so I send her out. The Auto Trader mod sells them some of our garbage automatically, and I compare the price of wool to a cowboy hat. A poor cowboy hat is almost half the price of its wool. But anyway, I sell them the leathers we're not likely to use and send them on their way. Right as I notice that due to the new clothing restrictions, someone is now naked, we get our watermill generator. Forex has no pants. Or eyes, but right now I'm more concerned about her pants. I queue up jobs to keep one decent thing of each clothing type that I like in stock. That way, someone will make a new pair of pants because we don't have any, and then Forex will see that we have some and then put them on. Well, I mean, she won't see that we have them, but you get what I mean. Anyway, watermills. The river is too diagonal here to put one. So I put my first one near that bridge. Things are going smoothly, so I take the time to add floors to some bedrooms. I find that floors take long enough that you don't want to do too many rooms at a time. We're also missing components for the water wheel. And there are a ton on the far side of the river, so I queue them up to be mined. To keep them out of the river, I order a tunnel dug through the mountain. And Albert, of course, wades into the river to start digging that tunnel. Blight! All hands on deck, especially you, Blighted Plants mod. It keeps an alert in the list until all blighted plants are cut, and puts arrows on them you can easily see. Oh geez, another raid. With a relationship this time. Albert's dad is an archer for them. Great. Okay, Forex, you finish up on those plants because you can't really be a part of this. They're attacking from the north, so the panic room may get one more use here. Kaylee shoots at an archer and another guy bum rushes us. The second trap takes him down. They get a fire started on our fledgling watermill and we kill their archer, causing them to flee. Hermione gives chase, but the guy gets away. Luckily, among the survivors was Albert's dad. In the bad news column, though, the watermill was not in the home area, so it burned down. Oh well, back to work. I make Albert mine the components and then haul them all. And Kaylee is trying to walk off an arrow to the hand. I don't know why, but I'm concerned that tending wounds in the dark may be a bad idea. But for a cut on the hand, I prioritize the wound over the torch. This time. I set up a medicine stockpile in our new infirmary and Kaylee gets fully healed. And finally, 3 days after the corn crop came in, they harvest it. I let them sow one crop of rice so we can hopefully get one more harvest before winter. And now we're out of steel for the watermill. No biggie, there's a big steel building nearby. Okay, here's a life hack for you. If you're a con artist being chased by barbarians, use your inherent con artistry skills and don't tell us you're a con artist. Sorry dude, doctors only. I'm a little concerned here. We don't seem to be hauling at the level of urgency that I feel is appropriate, or at all, so I check our levels. Then I get distracted by plate armor. Maybe hauling isn't an urgent enough priority for me either. But Albert needs plate armor. And Forex wastes a ton of steel and components trying to build the watermill while blind. Okay, finally, Albert's hauling stuff, but he's not hauling the corn. I force him to, but he goes to bed instead. Fine. And overnight, a mad rabbit attacks. While waiting for someone to get up and be attacked by the rabbit, I see that we still don't have enough power after building the watermill, so I queue up another. Kaylee gets up first, which is good because she's probably the best to deal with that lapping threat. Bam! Done. The day passes uneventfully. Albert makes the water wheel and Hermione crafts her heart out. And I remove the floor on that building we took the walls from. Things are going so well, in fact, that I decide it's time to protect our little investment a bit more, with a walled enclosure. There, that should be big enough for most any sized base, and we can expand over here if need be. We have more granite blocks than anything else, and granite is a great wall material, so I decide to go with it. But first, winter is only days away, so I turn off sewing on the heel route. And we're getting close to being done with machining, so I need a new project. I consider drug production, but don't think this is the colony to make into a drug cartel. Instead, I go with prosthetics. It's a prerequisite for bionics, and Albert owes Forex an eye. Well, actually, he owes her 2 eyes. But then, as I frequently do, I change my mind and drop prosthetics for guns. Can't hope to be rich enough to be able to make eyeballs without being able to defend ourselves. Hermione's working on her second plate armor when Kaylee finishes research on machining. I move the sculptor's table so the machining table will have power. And of course it needs components, and of course we have none. None unmined, that is. I queue up some orders and figure Albert will get to it in the morning. And all that taken care of, it's time for our granite wall. Now, this is going to be a long-term task. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes a year to get the entire thing built, all along with running the colony, of course. But for now, I queue up the lower right side and let them get at it. That's all of our 220 granite right there. Forex is a minor break risk. It's because you're blind, isn't it? You're mad that you're blind. Oh, no, it's recreation. Can she not do recreation activities because she's blind? She seems to be able to do everything else. I mean, she can cook. And now she's going for a walk by the dead body pile. And the mood hit's gone, so I'll just figure all's well. Maybe she slept late and missed the morning rec session before work. We're going to need a lot of granite, so as Hermione and Kaylee have their morning horseshoes party, I queue up hauling on all the chunks in the area. Gunsmithing gets researched. We finally got some decent weapon options. And to boot, that machining table got built while I wasn't looking, so I set up a quick order to disassemble mechanoids. And another one to, well, you know what, our weapon options are still kind of garbage. But Albert could use himself an advanced helmet. I do the standard order to keep one non-tatter and one on hand at all times. And I remove the order to build simple helmets. We're better than that now. Now, helmets are fine, but what I really want are guns. For LMGs, I need both blowback operation and gas operation, so get at it, Kaylee. And get us some gun turrets after that. And flak armor for the shooters. And if you finish that up, do microelectronics. Ooh, we get a visitor! Mink has some items to trade. Kaylee, quit wasting all that time at the research bench and see what she has for sale. Sadly, she has nothing we want and barely any money, so we just sell her some of our junk. And instantly get some cargo pods full of 200 elephant leather. Okay. Veggies have filled up our freezer and we can't store meat there, so I up the priority on the barn to move some of the veggies there. It's getting cold out, so I also queue up in order to harvest everything we can. I'll let the rest of it try to grow, but this may be the last harvest of the year. Random dead muffalo. Hey, it's not rotten. Oh, let's take it. The cold is affecting research speed. I guess it's time for heaters in the work area. We don't have the steel or the components, but we can get both. Blowback operation. We can now make a copy of the best gun we've gotten off our raiders. Hermione makes us the only 2 heaters I ended up queuing up. I decide to try to do the rest with just vents, so we won't use up as many components. And I queue up more components to mine right as one of our alpacas gives birth. And Hermione goes on an ambrosia binge. She's got chemical interest, so this will happen on occasion no matter what I do. Hermione? You know when you're on a drug binge, it's traditional. No, it's actually required that you actually take the drugs that you're binging on. We get a fire, and the only one awake is Hermione, who did end up taking some ambrosia. So I get Albert to put it out. And it's spreading fast, so Kaylee, get up there too. And you too, Forex, just hit anything that feels hot. The next day, we see we've got some room in our freezer, so I queue up some hunting orders on animals that won't fight back. At some point, Hermione finished that steel plate armor, so I make Albert wear it instead of the wooden garbage he was wearing before. And we don't need these stockpiles anymore. They were for that hat trade we made oh so many months ago. Albert has asthma. Remember that? Maybe Forex should try to put his new lungs in. No, I just have Hermione treat him as normal. And then we get a raid. Ooh, mechanoids. We can disassemble those now. And it's only one, and he's got a charge lance. Everybody that can see, on alert. I set the girls up behind cover and send Albert around to flank. The Lancer doesn't seem to notice him. It's concentrating on Hermione and Kaylee. I run Albert around behind it so he won't get shot. It's out of Kaylee's range, so I move her forward a bit as well. Die, Mechanoid Abomination! And after a lot of damage is inflicted on the beast, it finally goes down. Albert's beaten up, but basically okay. His worst injury is from Kaylee, in fact. I'm sure it was an accident. I make him haul the Lancer and then take a stint in the infirmary. And I draft Hermione into the infirmary so she's right there when he gets to bed, so she can tend to him. The next day, she rips some useful materials from the mechanoid corpse. The main problem is meat, and we're just not hunting. But there are a few more alpacas on the map, so hey, someone get out there. The problem here is that Kaylee and Hermione are our only hunters. Kaylee's always researching, and Hermione is, well, she's doing absolutely everything else. I make hunting a 2 for both of them. It won't affect Kaylee, but it should give Hermione some hunting time once Albert's better. We're out of power, and the smelter is just to get steel from slag, so I turn it off for now. And the next morning, Hermione throws an early morning party. And then she takes a walk, letting Kaylee and Forex party on their own. Albert is starving, but is lying in bed instead of joining in. Even though winter is here, we do get another rice harvest in, and then research is done on gas operation, also known as LMGs. I queue one up. Weapons for all. We get a visitor. Trout has medical of 8. I consider kidnapping her, but she's sickly. I'm noticing a lot of haul orders are outstanding, and Forex, being blind, seems the perfect candidate for that kind of work. So I set her up with a 2 on everything. Then we get a raid. Ted O'Mella. I should have taken that Peace Talks quest. Okay, 4 dudes with guns. I am officially scared. They're preparing, and I decide that's a great idea. We've got almost no raw materials, though, so I can only queue up a couple wood traps. I also make an inside zone for Forex so she won't wander into the fight. I try to make one more trap out of sandstone before the attack. But they start while Albert's working on it. I send Forex and the alpacas inside. I put Kaylee and Hermione in the panic room and realize that there's no way Albert's going to get done with that trap. So I get him in cover and await the assault. The first guy does trigger the first trap, but they're shooting at Albert instead of advancing. A guy goes right to where Albert would have had that other trap set up, which is annoying. Albert, attack! Okay, attack that guy then. Their guy is taking forever to go down, and Albert's getting beat up. Then they both go down. Albert's got 8 hours to live, and we've got 3 raiders to fight. I send the girls out of the panic room. It's useless now. Kaylee takes a shot running into cover, and Hermione's not even near cover. Kaylee scores 2 headshots on the guy, but she's the one to go down. So it's up to Hermione. If she goes down, we may have lost the game. But one of their guys tries to flank her and hits a trap, and they flee. I immediately ignore them and get our 2 walking colonists to save our 2 mortally injured ones. Kaylee's dead in 5 hours, Hermione in 13. So I have Hermione carry Kaylee. Albert's only got 7 hours to live, but that fire scares me, so I have Forex prioritize it before rescue. I love how Hermione, bleeding and injured and carrying Kaylee, is going as fast as that guy is. I get Hermione right to work working on Kaylee. Kennedy the Drifter being chased by 4 penitents. Sorry, Kennedy, we're a bit busy right now. I know you're hurt, Hermione, but patch up Albert before he dies. Kaylee gets up, probably not advised, but it does free the bed for Hermione. I queue up her bed rest immediately after she fixes Albert. Kaylee has a medical of 0. Forex isn't much better at 1, and do you remember she's blind? Alright, Forex, get to work. The last thing we need right now is dirt and blood everywhere causing an infection. I make Kaylee clean it up. Hermione's still a medical emergency, but she's stable for now. Kaylee gives her a high five. Forex finally heads to bed, but Albert is starving. I get her up once more to get him a meal. And I queue up an upgrade to Kaylee's weapon when she wakes up in the morning. And to boot, our relations with the people who keep attacking us get worse. And to put frosting on the cake, as Kaylee and Albert get up at sunrise, a frickin' Muffalo attacks. But that will kill us all next time. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm HMV and I will, as always, talk at you later.